Alrighty. Okay, let me. Oh my goodness, it's so advanced now. It's so advanced. Okay, so hi, hello everybody. I I'm back. Hope y'all are doing well. I There you go. Let me put this down a little bit. But yeah, so let me just put this here and then full screen because I do want to be able to see all of it. But yeah, so before I get into it, hi, hello everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. If you don't know who I am, I'm Infamous Isaac, or Isaac for short, and I've been playing Steins on my channel for the past like 2 months. And I do want to say I do know what happens in the games. I do know what happens in both of these games actually. So I, this isn't blind, but yeah, I finished Steins original like 4 to 5 days ago, and excuse me, um, I couldn't wait. I legit could not wait to to play this game, so I jumped into it, and do want to say right now, Steam streams are going to be a little sporadic depending on how this video goes, but so far I do want to say that the video, like the script is already like, it's already shaping up to be longer than the Kagurabachi script. Granted, this is the unrefined version, so who knows, maybe it'll be a little shorter, maybe it'll be longer, I don't know. But with the way things are going and what I have planned, this video might be longer than the Kagurabachi video, and that's perfectly fine. Honestly, having this be the maybe one of my longest videos on the channel, I think that's perfect. I think that's perfectly fine. I'm happy with that. But yeah, nah. So the Steins Gate video will be coming out. Don't worry. All because I'm gonna be playing this doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop working on that either. I am gonna work on both. But it's just like the streams are definitely gonna take like a little bit of a backseat. I just wanted to start this one because I really wanted to play this game. So yeah, I hope you guys can bear with me. But yeah, Steins Gate Zero. It's so the Steins Gate original came out in 2009. This game came out in 2015, and while it's a 6 year difference, this game has significant, like, look at the menus, the upgrades in the menus alone just show like how much went into this. Like, this game has so much presentation and flavor to it. It's awesome. And genuinely, Steins Gate original means the world to me. I love that. I love that story. I love that game, and I love that anime. Steins Gate Zero isn't as good. However, I love it just as much, if not more, than original Steins Gate. This isn't a masterpiece in terms of like, oh, it's perfect. This is like, nothing's wrong with it. It's not like that at all. But I hopefully want to show you all that this game, depending on who you ask, isn't as bad as what they say. Like, I feel like this game has a reason to exist, and b, potential to stand on its own, despite having to, you need to play the original game to understand. So I want to make a case for it. But yeah, rambling aside, we're here now. I hope you all can hear me. I hope I didn't just ramble into the void for no reason. But genuinely, I'm so excited to start this game. Like, so excited. I hope you all feel the same. I'm not gonna lie. If you don't, that's fine. Like at the end of the day, it's a visual novel, so I don't blame you. Let me like my own video because you gotta support yourself. Yep, I can be heard, all that jazz. Hello to the people that are here. Appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, so Steins Gate 0. I don't got much to say, so let's just get back to it. So backlog, quick save, quick load, tips, full screen, configuration, title menu, help, close menu, and exit menu. Okay, I see. The hatch opened. Bright light flooded my eyes. Where was I? My eyes narrowed. I could barely make out the summer's twilight sky. I didn't want to leave. I just wanted to disappear. But someone grabbed my arm and dragged me out. I gotta lower the voice volume. Oh my goodness, that was so loud. There's something funny that's gonna happen in this stream too, because like I plan on going a little longer than no, that's a spoil, don't go down there. Sorry, it's down a little bit, but yeah, like there's something funny that's gonna happen. Just keep watching. Oh, shift doesn't do it anymore. Yeah, okay, so that button still works. Eliante, go babe. I didn't have the energy to respond to my own nickname. I fell to the ground and wrapped my arms around myself. My Yuri ran to me and looked down, her face worried. But her kindness felt like nothing but a nuisance. Don't talk to me. Just leave me alone. I don't remember if Daru's voice actor is different from this game than the last one, but I generally don't remember. My Suzuha is the same though, you can tell. Also, I think this is the same from last stream. Like this ending, this is I think almost the exact same. Though we ran to the door that led back inside the building. Oh, another thing. I just like last time, I am going to be playing with the voices on, so sorry you won't be able to hear my masterful voice acting this time around, but don't worry. There's going to be games soon that don't have voice acting, so just wait on that. I gotta turn the volume down. Good lord, bro. There you go. This is so loud. Let's see if that does it. Stop it. Just get away from me. Leave me alone. I couldn't save her. In fact, I killed her myself. Right here, 3 weeks ago. I killed her. I'm a murderer. No matter how many times I try, it will all converge back to the same result. The process doesn't matter. Whether you time travel or time leap, you can't go back and change the results of the past. I thought I understood that cruel truth. But now, I was forced to realize it again, in the worst possible way. Oh, I gotta check actually. Let me see. How many trophies does this game have in comparison to the original? Because the original has 42, which, by the way, since some of you may have watched from the original streams, I did 100% the game. I did do that. So, I'm sorry you guys had to watch that on the last stream. It was it was a lot. Let me see. Damn, that's a lot of hidden trophies. Oh, oh, that's kind of whack. So this game's trophies, this game's trophies aren't okay. That's fine. So this game has 28 trophies, and you're going to get all of them off of just playing the game. Like you're not gonna have to go out of your way to get like extra trophies or anything like that. Unlike the original, where there was extra trophies hidden in the messages and stuff like that. So basically, you're gonna 100% the game as long as you play the entire game, which I guess fair enough. Like that's fine, but it's also like, damn, I shoot, okay, but whatever, whatever. Anyways, worldline. This term refers to an infinite number of possible worlds. However, these worlds do not exist in parallel. Only one exists at a given time. Everything that occurs along a world line, from the past to the future, has been predetermined. Thus, no matter how much you change the past along a single world line, the result will converge to the same outcome. There you go. The end? To the person watching, uh, like, well, I don't know if you're still here, but to to the person who asked that question. So this is the end of the first game, like legit. This is the final chapter of the first game, but that doesn't mean that this is a direct continuation of the first game. It's better to see by just watching. So I won't spoil too much if you haven't seen the first game. Oh, there you go, 440, nice. That's the reality of this world. I learned that a long time ago. Why is that so loud? someone was saying something to me, but I couldn't understand the words. I didn't want to listen to anything. I just wanted to sleep. Just let this all end. Just let me go. I don't know if my Yuri's words were the reason why, but the tears started to flow. I decided to forget everything. Ever since that day, I stopped going to the Future Gacha lab. Fictional, a lab in name only. It is actually a group of students who make strange inventions. Its founder, Okabe Rintaro, described it as a place where he can further his ambitions to overthrow the ruling structure of the world. To get there, head down Center Street from Akihabara Station. Then, when you get to Suehiro Sho, in the intersection, take a left at Kurumai Bachi Street. Then head into the alleyway just in front of the next light, and you'll find an old multi-purpose building called Ubiyama Building. It's on the second floor. Open the new gate. Begin Steins Gate 0. Okay, there's a lot to go over. Yep. So let me explain some things real quick. So for some of you who may not know, for those who do, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but Steins Gate 0 is a sequel slash, in a way, concurrent game alongside Steins Gate Original. So Steins Gate Original has chapter 1 through chapter 11, and then Steins Gate 0 is when Okabe comes back after failing the first time. This is the Okabe that failed the first time. The one who went to, or the one who failed the first time. And when this game is so loud, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me basic. That's all set, that's all set, that's all set. I think I just gotta lower the volume in the computer itself. Let me do this right here. Put it to 40 and then we see what happens. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, no, so Steins Gate 0 takes place on the timeline where Okabe failed the first time, but he never got the message. The reason why he never got the message is because this Okabe that we're following is the one who makes it. So, we already know how this game ends. We know that Okabe fails, but somehow he's going to get back up and send that message to another Okabe who does fail, but get him back up so he can go back again and then somehow save Makise, leading towards Steins Gate. So Steins Gate 0 takes place before, during, and after Steins Gate Original, in a way. It's weird, but there is a reason why this game exists. So we know how it ends. All we need to know is just how to get there. So let's see how to get there. Oh, and also, it's November now. We skipped the whole 3 months. 3 months, I think, from where we were in August. Yeah, August 21st, I think. UPX, the new symbol of Akihabara, was located right in front of the station. We're actually inside it. Or actually, no, we were inside it before for Makisei's presentation. In the hall on the fourth floor, preparations have been going on all morning for the ATF Akihabara Techno Forum convention. Universities and labs from both inside and outside the country would work together to put on special seminars and symposiums at irregular intervals. My school, Tokyo Denki University, was participating as part of its industry collaboration efforts. Students were required to attend these seminars and submit reports to their instructors. Okay. Tokyo Denki University. First founded as the Denki School in 1907, in 1949 it became a college in Kanda, Tokyo. Denki University trains engineers and students to promote the healthy development of scientific technology. It was founded around the principle of practical study above all else. Good lord, acquired. Have I read this one? I have, okay, yeah. Yep. It was founded around the principle of practical study above all else. Its educational and research motto is, quote, technology is people, end quote. Because of the school's location, it was deeply involved in the development of Akihabara. Otherwise, it wouldn't get credit for their related courses or classes. In addition, I was supposed to help one of the lecturers, Associate Professor Aizaki. I had just gotten a list from the reception desk at the shared lobby. I was waiting to check off the names of the students who were coming to the lectures. There was still some time before the seminar started, so the lobby was mostly empty. None of the students on the list were here yet. I was bored, but I couldn't do anything but wait. The old me never could have imagined doing anything like this, but impressing Aizaki was part of my new life goal or my goal in life. Victor Kandria University. Didn't Makisei go there? Yes, that was my new goal. Aizaki did a lot of joint research projects with them and knew a lot of people there. The best first steps to getting there my brain could come up with was being his assistant. Also, this convention was holding another seminar by Victor Kandria University after the one held this summer. Of course, that interested me too. Summer. Yep. That was the one that she did. She did go there. An image of her as she was then flashed to my mind. Remember, because this is the Kurisu ending. Yeah, this is the Kurisu ending. No. No, it's not the Kurisu ending. So, it's the true ending route, but prematurely ended. So, the romance flags are still there. Like, Okabe loves Makisei. It's not her fault that he's feeling like this. This is just wholeheartedly like, he's depressed. Okabe is depressed. I was trying to get to Victor Kandria so that I could learn about the work that Makisei Kurisu has been doing or have been doing. Wanted to try to do it myself. Of course, I wasn't a genius like Kurisu. I knew there was no way I'd ever be able to do exactly what she did. But if I could do even 10% of it. Honestly, I'm amazed that I recovered so well. I thought that to myself and chuckled, just as a voice called to me from across the lobby. Oh man, okay. So, before I press play, Suzuha is my favorite character from Steins original. That's undisputed. But she's not my favorite character from the series ever. There's one more person above her. This is it right here. This is the one who's my favorite character of the entire series. I looked up and saw a young girl approaching from the elevator hall. She was short and petite. Everything about her was small. I could kind of make out a few of the curves that don't appear until after puberty. So at least she wasn't in elementary school, but Okabe, what? You didn't need to say that, dog. You could just tell from the body type that she's mature. You don't have to say from the curves after puberty. Man, that's weird. Maybe middle school? For someone with such a cute face, she clearly didn't care about her appearance. Her hair wasn't styled and it flowed down her back. Even I could tell her clothes weren't very fashionable. Clearly not a place where a middle school girl belonged. She probably just come to the wrong place. Irritated, she pulled a card out of her jacket. It was one of the IDs given out to invited guests. Her name and the name of her workplace were written on the front. Akihabara Technoforum. Guest. Viticonja University, USA. Brain Science Institute. Maho Hiyajo. Yep, I already read that. Oh, and the English is actually legible this time, too. Look at that. Last time it was just a bunch of gibberish. Brain science. The field of study that researches animal brains, also called neuroscience. It investigates the brain from a number of perspectives, including biology, genetics, medicine, psychology, and electrical engineering. There you go. You stop there, put that there. Let me check something. Oh my god, I'm going for like 20 minutes. Yep, 30. I looked at the card and then at her. Then back at the card. Then I looked at her again. I finally realized. She sighed and showed me another card. This one was a photo ID from Victor Conjure University. It was the same ID I'd seen Kurisu holding before on another world line. The photo on the card. Yeah, that was definitely her. Unlike in Japan, it wasn't common for Americans to skip grades. Kurisu had made it to university at age 17. But still, a girl this young working in a university lab. Shiami. There you go. Damn, 1989? She's about to be 40 this year. No, excuse me, not this year. Whoa, wait, whoa. Maho Hiyajo will be 40 in 2029. There you go. Goodness. This girl, Maho Hiyajo, pointed to part of the ID with her slender fingers. She was born in 1989, and it was 2010, so... And then she puffed out her chest. There wasn't much to see, but I can imagine her saying, "They look bigger when I'm not wearing clothes. They're huge." Okabe, you pervert. I couldn't believe it. She was older than me by 3 years, no less. If Daru was here, he'd be dancing around screaming "legal lolly" for. Glad to see Daru hasn't changed one bit, even if he's not here. For the win, net slang used to express excitement about a positive event or experience. Abbreviated FTW. Legal lolly refers to a character in anime or manga who appears to be no older than an elementary schooler, but is in fact over the legal age of 20, which is not true. The legal age is 21. No, wait. Legal age is 18. There you go. But yeah. Wow. Already off to a great start with the Lollymancer stuff. It reminds me of Subaru and how he's facing the Lollymancer allegations, but trust and believe. I rebuked them. I rebuked them. Subaru is not a Lollymancer. I'm gonna put this here. Put that there. Put that there. God, I'll just do another trap. It's fine. There you go. Okay. Still, the Brain Science Institute? That's where Kurisu worked. Which means this person might know a lot about Kurisu. I held back the impulse to start badgering her with questions. I looked at the pamphlet with the seminar schedules. Victor Kanji's lecture was the last one of the day. It was clearly intended to be the biggest. Was this Maho Hiajo girl going to give a lecture? Just like Kurisu had done at the summer convention. No, wait. That's wrong. That never happened. Kurisu, or Makise Kurisu, never gave any lectures over the summer. That happened in the Alpha world line. In this world line, I inhabited, or in the world line I inhabited now, for the summer convention, she'd already. I looked at the pamphlet again and saw that the lecturer was a man named Alexis Leskinen. Alexis Leskinen. A professor at Victor Kandja University and a chief researcher at the Brain Science Institute. I led Maho over to the elevator hall and showed her where the staff room was. I had no reason to hang around her any further. I said goodbye and was just about to turn around. Just then, the elevator opened. A woman emerged. The instant I saw her face, every hair on my body stood on end. Kiryu Moeka? It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. Calm down. This is the Beta World line. Mayuri's alive. Moeka's not going to kill her. Our eyes met. The eyes on the other side of her glasses were as dead as ever. It was impossible to tell what she was thinking. I frantically averted my gaze before she realized something was wrong. She tilted her head for a second, but quickly lost interest in me and turned to Maho. Even in this world line, Moeka still only spoke in faint whispers. I don't know if you noticed, but the characters have a different art style. You can probably tell from the thumbnail, but the characters in this game have a different art style from the last game. It it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts, but also they we can see their backsides now. It's cool. The two of them disappeared into the staff room. As I watched them leave, I took a deep breath. I tried to calm down, but it wasn't working. It was a terrible feeling, like a cold finger tracing the wounds on my heart. That night, when a terrorist threat shut down all trains in Akihabara. The awful night, when I just knew something was going to happen. Yeah, like literally you can just tell that the art style is significantly different. Let me look at the backlog. How's that? Oh yeah, no, it's almost well, it's not the exact same, but it's crazy, man. This game looks so different. Alright, Rounder, fictional, an unofficial group that works for CERN. It is, in theory, an independent group that does technology research. Rounders are deployed all over the world, and their exact numbers are unknown. The real objective is to recover the IBM 5100s, building machines capable of hacking CERN's hidden database, as well as crushing any attempts at time machine research around the world and taking the scientists back to work for CERN. They are, in essence, mercenaries who are capable of using force if necessary. Some of the members on the bottom rung do their work without ever meeting another rounder face to face. CERN, fictional, the European Laboratory for Nuclear Research. CERN, however, is not an acronym for this group. It comes from the French. It comes from the French Société Européenne. Wow. Okay, I'm not even gonna try to read that French. European Society for Nuclear Research. Its predecessor group, excuse me. The lab consists of the world's largest particle accelerator on the outskirts of Geneva, Switzerland. It crosses the border between France and Switzerland, and there is a bank, library, post office, and living quarters located on the grounds. Research teams from all over the world, but particularly the 19 countries of Europe, gather here to perform experiments in elementary particle physics. Several thousand people look at CERN. Or was it just imagining things? Was she just a magazine reporter now, instead of a CERN rounder? No. Even if Moeko is a rounder, we had nothing to do with CERN anymore. CERN wouldn't be watching us. I took another deep breath, grabbed some of the anxiety meds in my pocket, and swallowed them down with some mineral water I bought ahead of time. Yeah, man, like genuinely. That whole incident messed up Okabe so bad. It messed him up horrifically. Because literally, like, the man has anxiety meds. He has an anxiety disorder now because of what happened. It's insane. And you're going to see later on in the game, like, it gets bad. Like, Okabe really does suffer. And here I thought that the suffering would end here, but nope, it did not. It would take 15 minutes for them to kick in. Those 15 minutes were always pretty rough. I laughed at myself a little and sat down on one of the reception desk chairs. The table was filled with leaflets, pamphlets, and other things for the attendees. Look at this! Look at this! Okabe got a new phone. Yep. Yep. But this is the one that I want. This is the classic. And then wallpaper settings. You know, we got the original. Then we got the UPA. We got the frog. 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 You know what? Let's make it the Oopa. Let's make it the Oopa. Why not? That's cute. Call. Mayuri, Daru, Lukako, Suzuha, Barris, and Yuki Amane. New character here that you guys don't know about yet. Don't worry. Ocarina, are things going okay with the seminar? What? Huh? With Mr. Seminar? What are you talking about? Answer the message from someone. There you go. There was a little accident. There was a little accident. Did something happen? I almost ran into somebody I really would rather avoid. You okay? If you're having a hard time, I think it would be okay to leave halfway through. I can't do that. I'm alright for now, thanks. That's adorable. Look at this man, he legit has a smartphone now. It's a lot slower to pull up too. Goodness. Oh, whoa. Man, whatever, fine. So everyone that works is one. Anyways, my eyes wandered to one of the pamphlets. Nakabachi theory and a genealogy of pseudoscience. His pamphlet was for Professor Aizaki's seminar. Nakabachi theory. The paper he announced in Russia. That paper held the key to creating a real-time machine. On that day, July 28th, Nakabachi had stolen the paper from Kurusu, his own daughter, and left with it. I knew that. Only Nakabachi and I knew that. I flipped through the pamphlet. It was a brief introduction to the many forms of pseudoscience and fake scientific discoveries that had emerged since the start of the 20th century. On its own, it did make for an interesting read. And at the end of the pamphlet, Nakabachi theory was introduced as nothing more than another entry in that long list of fakes. So Dr. Nakabachi's time machine theory had been completely ignored by the academic world. All the glory, fame, and power he'd wanted so badly that he was willing to get rid of his own daughter, he didn't get any of it. And I heard rumors that after the announcement, he'd been imprisoned in a Russian lab. To make it even funnier, he thought he was getting VIP treatment. For a short time, there were essays and interviews in bogus academic journals, even though it was obvious it had all gone to his head. The ironic thing was that Nakabachi did. Wow. Oh my goodness, excuse me. The ironic thing that Nakabachi did. Wow, I can't talk today. The ironic thing was that Nakabachi theory was completely correct and completely revolutionary. The Russian government was worried about it leaking, and the SVR were doing everything it could to keep it under wraps. SVR, the Service of External Reconnaissance of the Russian Federation, aka SVR, Russia's external intelligence agency. Its HQ is in Yasinovo in southern Moscow. After the old Soviet Committee for State Security, KGB, was disbanded, the new SVR was modeled after the KGB's first directorate. There are other intelligence agencies in Russia as well, such as the Main Intelligence Directorate, GRU, or GRU, and the Federal Security Service, FSB. Each of them has their own territory and specialization. But under the surface, there was a full-scale information war beginning over the paper. The time traveler from 2036, John Teeter, had told me so, which meant it had to be true. In November 2000, a man appeared on the American message board claiming to be a time traveler from the year 2036. Now we know this is Suzuha. This became an internet phenomenon that inspired a storm of questions and debate. The man called himself John Teeter and, well, John Titer, but whatever, and published partial pictures of the manual for his time machine, as well as an explanation for how it operated. He also made clear what would happen in the near future, how interfering with the timeline worked, the principles behind the multiverse and parallel worlds, as well as timelines and world lines. Then, 4 months after his appearance, he left a final message saying that he completed his mission and would be returning to his world. Then he vanished for good. Was World War III really going to happen? There's no point in thinking about it. You have someone who lived it, like. Anyways, just a little more before the drugs kicked in. I closed my eyes. Damn, wow, he's... Oh, I forgot, yeah, because the seminar's at the end of the day. There you go. Several hours later, the convention was going well. After Professor Aizaki's seminar, most of the students from my university went home, but I killed some time and came back. Wanted to hear the Victor Conjure lecture. I headed to the hall with plenty of time to spare and saw Maho Hiajo coming from the staff room. She was with a very tall foreigner. Was that Alexis Leskinen? Didn't seem like an American name, but maybe he was an immigrant like Kurisu, or at least descended from one. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but the looks on their faces were so serious that I couldn't help but listen. Since they were both speaking English, I could barely make out any of it, but I could tell from their voices that it wasn't a pleasant chat. Wait, did I just hear the word Maki say? I hate the fact that I couldn't speak English. If I'd known this was going to happen, I would have gone to English school. The two of them walked into the waiting room for lecturers. It was located right next to the UPX theater. I put together the few fragments I was able to understand. Fire at Kurisu's house. Miss Maki says alright. Robbery. Police called off the investigation. Why was the FBI there? It doesn't make sense. I think that's what they were saying. Kurisu's house. Do they mean where she lived in America? Her mother used to live in America. Is that where the fire was? And the words like robbery and an investigation was called off. I really wanted to know more. I stood there and worried until it was time for the lecture to begin. With nothing else to do, I went inside the theater. I could tell earlier by looking at the size of the crowds going inside, but it's a very high energy crowd. The atmosphere was clearly different from his. Oh wow. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. The atmosphere was clearly different from Aizaki's seminar, which was mostly students there for credit. The place was nearly full with a crowd of scientists and people who wanted to learn about cutting-edge technology. Mitochondria's researchers have published a slate of papers in Science recently, and had gotten a lot of media attention. Maybe that's why. Were there any empty seats? I found a single open seat at the edge. I found a single open seat at the edge, yeah. Yeah. I found a single open seat at the edge. What are we talking about? It seems like it was a typo, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But when I looked at who was sitting next to it, I moaned, "Hi, Moika." Yep. You again? Moika Kiryu was there. Kiryu Moika. She was speaking to no one, just typing endlessly into her phone. I had once named her Shining Finger because of her incredible typing speed. She was as fast as ever. Who was she talking to? I didn't even want to imagine. I quickly turned away and looked for another seat. Dr. Luskiter reached the podium almost the exact instant I sat down. Also, he's not sitting next to Moika. Wow. There was a huge wave of applause when they saw the tiny little girl come up to. Good lord. But when they saw the tiny little girl come up next to him, the applause faded into confused murmurs. Maho must have expected this. Her expression didn't change in the slightest as she stood next to the professor. In fact, when she took the microphone from the professor and looked around the theater, she looked like she belonged there. First, Dr. Leskinen began to speak in English. When he made eye contact with Maho, she began to interpret. The audience started murmuring again. That's the same way I responded when I met her. Well, that'll happen, yeah. Alright. Artificial intelligence, often shortened to AI. There have been many different definitions for this word since its creation. For example, some use it to refer to control systems with self-directed learning capability, while others use it to refer to programs whose thought routines mirror humans. AI is such a huge talking point in 2025 and 2024 and even 2023, to the point where, like, even seeing this here, it's just so different from what it is today. Dr. Leskinen stood in front of the laptop that had been placed on the podium and started to type. One of the staffers was about to display the laptop screen on the front projector. Some kind of important program must have been booting up because Mahayasha stopped her. Some of the audience got the professor's joke and laughed. There was another projector in the center of the stage. A diagram appeared on the screen. At the top of the diagram was a Japanese translation for the general audience. An analysis of neural pulse signals relating to memories stored in the temporal lobe. Nerve pulse, an electrical signal that travels through a human's nerve cells. It's used to quickly spread information between cells. Temporal cortex, a part of the cerebrum located at the side of the brain. It controls memory, judgment, emotional restraint, hearing, and more. It's also used for assessing the hippocampus, which is on the edge of the cerebrum. I knew that title well. In fact, I was sure I could never forget it. It was the title of an essay written by a 17-year-old genius and published in Science. Chet completely analyzed the nerve impulse patterns that govern human memory and used that to digitize the memories of thousands of data. She had used that to invent a time loop machine right in front of my eyes. Though, none of that actually happened anymore. Cerebral cortex, the gray-colored external layer of the human brain. It only consists of a few millimeter, it only, oh wow, I can't talk. It is only a few millimeters thick, but consists of over 10 billion neurons and countless layers. The central core governing sensation, movement, and mental activity. Different parts handle different functions. Dr. Leskinen pointed to the diagrams of the brain and hippocampus on the screen. Neurons, also referred to as nerve cells. Cells specialized for information processing. Electrical pulses flow through these cells to share various types of information, making them a form of transmission mechanism. The brain functions by sending electrical oh wow, never mind. She already read that. There you go. Sorry, I had to look at something. Maho started to have trouble with her interpreting. She was getting confused. No matter how good you were with languages, interpreting for a long period of time had to be difficult. I once read an article on the internet that said even a professional can't do it for more than 20 minutes. International conferences and live broadcasts from overseas were actually handled by a team of people switching off. Or maybe, was she having trouble because Curtis's name came up? Dr. Leskinen saw that she was having trouble and cut himself off. A wave of whispers swept across the theater. The whispers turned into a low roar. I see. So even after her death, Karisu's research was being carried on. Of course, maybe it was natural that it would be. That was the basic theory for time leaping, which I approved myself, even if I could never prove it to anyone else in the Alpha World line. I thought this was the Beta World line, though. Oh, well, no. I guess because he's referring to the Alpha World line, because that's where it happened. My memories have been turned into data and stored on my computer. There's no doubt about that. And what Dr. Leskinen was talking about right now was the basic technology required for that process. The slide on the projector changed. Someone who looked like a grad student in front of the row shouted. Dr. Leskinen didn't seem particularly put off by the interruption. Maho continued her interpretation. Symptomatic therapy. Treatment intended not to cure the cause of a disease, but to alleviate its symptoms and relieve pain. Painkillers and fever reducers are examples of symptomatic therapy. External storage, a data storage unit that can be attached from a computer or cell phone or other electronic device. Some examples include hard drives and flash memory. A strange feeling gripped the hall. Part of it was shock and the feeling that they were witnessing the announcement of incredible technology. Part of it was skepticism that a system like this could never actually work. Ever actually work. Part of it was revulsion at the idea of playing around with human brains like that. An excitement born of all these things passed from one member of the crowd to another. Dr. Luskinen raised his hand to encourage questioners. Many hands were raised. I could tell that there was a wide range of people interested. Both young and old were raising their hands. Dr. Luskinen pointed to a questioner. This is the first question. Sampling would be required when digitizing analog memories. Does that mean any information would be lost? A little bit. The act of taking data at regular intervals. The professor nodded as he listened to the question in Japanese and began responding in English when the speaker finished. Maybe he was able to understand Japanese, if not speak it. Little by little, the mood in the room was turning to disappointment. People were beginning to wonder if this was just a pretty theory that wouldn't work in reality. More questions came. All the questioners were skeptical of the professor's theory, and many of them seemed to be outright challenging it. I started to get upset. This is Dr. Luskinen's research, but it was also Kuroshi's. I knew better than anyone that it worked, and the sight of so many people refusing to give it a chance infuriated me. Were these people really scientists? I tried to keep myself under control and look back towards the podium. It's funny because of the fact that it's the fact that the same thing happened in Dr. Nakabachi's press conference where Okabe couldn't control himself. But it's not that he's older, it's that he's mellowed out. So here, it still would have happened, but he managed to suppress it. Was she mad? She certainly looked disappointed. Dr. Luskinen. Stop this. Dr. Luskinen was polite with the root questions, acknowledging the problems with the theory. She was very different. Her anger was starting to seep into her interpreting too. I felt a kind of kinship with her. The question and answer session continued. That that was the one thing I couldn't ignore. Fire. 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 This is what I was waiting for. This is what I was waiting for. Yachty! And then you got this goofball over here. Yo. Yachty! The two people on stage and the entire audience all turned towards me at once. The whole theater went silent. But I didn't regret standing up. On the stage, Maho Hyaja was staring at me in shock. He's gonna get kicked out. And as for Dr. Leskinen, he starts clapping. I saw a flash of white teeth as our eyes met. Yep. He started to applaud. He's the only one who does so. Why was he applauding? That just makes things embarrassing. Maho translated the precious words for me to hear. I lowered my head and sat down. I thought it was calm, but I guess I let my emotions get away from me. Hadn't grown up at all in the past 6 months. If Korusu was here, she'd make fun of me again. I could feel the rest of the audience staring at me coldly. It hurt. If I could have left, I would have wanted to, but I was too interested in hearing the rest of Dr. Leskinen's talk to move. Oh no, please no. That's adorable. Einstein, I thought that said Epstein. Wow, okay. Albert Einstein, 1879 to 1955. A German. Wow. Okay, a German Jew? Why? But why would it just be a German Jew? Whatever, whatever. A German Jew known as the father of modern physics. He developed many important theories, including the theory of general relativity and a theory of special relativity. Winner of the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics. The audience chuckled. Sheesh. When she finished speaking, Maho walked to the back of the stage. Dr. Luskin's signal, the PC screen was displayed on a projector. And then I heard a voice. The murmuring got louder than before, but it felt more uncertain than surprised. On the screen, I could see a detailed 3D model of Maho, the girl who had just been interpreting. That's so funny. Really called it Drinkworks. Maho Hiyajo chimed in from the back of the stage. Drinkworks. Drinkworks, an American CG production company, or movie production company. Maho Hiyajo chimed in from. Oh, I already read that. Yamada, an instrument maker that was founded in the 19th century. In the 2000s, they began to develop and sell artificial voice software and DTM, desktop music software for PCs. This is CG? Sure look real to me. Yeah, I wonder why. It's almost like you can't tell the difference because this is just a JPEG. The professor said something into the laptop's microphone. And a 3D model of Maho Hiyajo on the screen opened his mouth. Guys, I'm struggling to stay awake right now. Oh my gosh. It's not the game's fault, don't worry. It's because I'm really tired. Yeah, but wow. If you listen carefully, you might be able to hear something slightly off. It sounded far more human than any artificial voice I'd ever heard. The Maho Hiyajo on the screen spoke with a slightly irritated expression. And then the Maho Hiyajo by the wall nodded in agreement. Dr. Leskinen sleepily smiled. What's going on here? Well, part of this was their biggest project. The rest of the audience didn't seem to have any more of a clue than I did. What did she just say? The professor said something else in rapid English and asked the Maho on the screen to translate it. But she, if she was the right word, hesitated and went silent. I looked at the real Maho and she was responding exactly the same way. Dr. Leskinen laughed cheerfully and responded to her. I like that her face portrait's changing as well on the screen. The conversation was in quick English and over half the audience could understand. The real Maho sighed and took back the microphone. Oh yeah, that's sexual harassment. The professor said something else, and the Maho on the screen groaned and turned away. What was this? It was so natural I couldn't tell at first, but it's just something unbelievable, wasn't it? It felt very different than a typical AI. I can tell that much. It wasn't answering the questions it was given. And because they were embarrassed? Or because they were embarrassing? Was it programmed to respond like that to certain questions for the purpose of the demonstration? It was possible that it all was, but that conversation wasn't programmed in advance. The rest of the crowd started to reach the same conclusion I did. The whispers started to turn into surprise murmur. The copy of Maho was complaining to take the original, or to the original. It felt like I was watching a pair of twin sisters talking. Maho walked back to the professor. Only 6, just like last time. That's terrible. It's horrendous, actually. Alright, I'm gonna be honest. I'm really tired, so I'm gonna have to cut it short. I know it was only an hour and 30, but I don't want to fall asleep on stream, so I'm just gonna cut it short for now. But yeah, no, Steins Gate Zero, it's here. It's finally here. Um, Sucks to cut it off at the seminar, but I wanted to try to get a little further than that, but I know I'm not going to. I'm too tired. I'm literally gonna end the stream and just hit the sack immediately. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, shoot, I don't know. If you did, then do whatever you do. But yeah, I'll see you on the next video, which will be the Steins Gate video. Just when it will happen, we'll see. But next live stream, you'll see that when you see that. But yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day. See you on the next video or next stream. And yeah, more Steins Gate Zero. Lit. But yeah, later.